Hey everyone, welcome to the Monday National Sales Training Call. My name is Dan Miller, Agency Director, direct to Ben Miller, part of the Ryan Miller, Rob Puckett, and Marshall Whalen hierarchy. Super grateful to be here today and glad to have a few of my running buddies with us. The title of today's call is Collecting the W's, Wins. So crazy to think, last Monday at the same time, I was 1 hour into a 6 hour dental surgery procedure. And, I knew Ryan had, asked me to be on the call today. And, this business is definitely 90% mindset and 10% skill. So, I could have handled that a couple different ways. I could have left the surgery thinking, oh my goodness, I'd say average people should not be able to speak in that short of time. But you know what Casey Watkins says is he says, what average people do at Symmetry is average people quit. So, a different way to look at it is what an incredible opportunity to get on this platform with some incredible people and be able to pour in. So our goal today is, if we can impact one person out there to just change your life in a positive direction, it's definitely going to be good. So, and on our team, we're always talking about collecting the W's, the wins, and it starts off with just finding them. If we talk in symmetry terms, if we plan on dialing today and we follow through with that, it's a win. Every time a potential client answers the phone, win. Every appointment that we set, win. Every time that we show up, a client shows up to the presentation, win. There's so many wins that what happens is we start to train our brains to start looking for that type of thing. And I really believe that what you throw out into the world is what you get back. And when I think of throwing positivity out into the world and what comes back at you, I think of you, Cody Mohlman. Cody, you just hit in December. Let me give you some numbers on Cody. Cody in December wrote 16 applications for $11,032 in premium. He hit the slingshot bonus. The January backed it up. He wrote 20 applications for $13,308, waiting for the final numbers to come out from corporate. But Cody, welcome to the call. If you can come on and tell everybody, man, like where are you coming from? And also, was your plan just to come in and just crush it full time with Symmetry or what, buddy? Welcome.
Hey, appreciate that, Dan. I'm Cody Mohlman. I'm direct to Kari, Willen, and part of the Dan Miller, Ben Miller, Ryan Miller, Rob Puckett, Marshall Whalen hierarchy, and honored to be a part of the call today. When I started, I was starting in part-time. I was working as a city utility worker. I didn't know what was gonna come of it. But I was working 2-3 hours in the evening, and I was planning on doing that until about January to see if I could, drop my city job and start doing this, full time. But then, November hit, November 8th, and I got pulled to the side and I got told that the company was going in a different direction and they were letting me go. So, my cards were dealt, and the only decision I was going to make was, this is going to be my full-time job. I reached out, everybody, you, Dan, Kari, Keisha, the whole team helped me out. And, November, that was my learning month there. But my decision was made, and the only way to proceed for me is to hit the ground running.
And you totally did, buddy. I mean, those were 2 solid months that you hadn't wrote, and you weren't even planning on, starting full time. So let me ask you this, and I know you got some good training for us too, but let me ask you, buddy, what is your current goals? Like, what are your professional goals with Symmetry now that you had 2 successful months?
So my current goals with Symmetry is I've started to spread my focus a little bit towards the recruiting side. My end of year goal is I want at least 40 licensed agents underneath me. I love building people up. I love helping families. Um, and I'm never content with just what I set my goal at. Once I hit my goal, I'm always going to raise it. So to start off with, my yearly goal is going to be, 40 licensed agents underneath me.
Awesome, man. And Cody, something that you brought to the table, which I think is going to be really valuable, is the Quality RX program is something that's in place for an added benefit for clients. And yeah, you've been successful in incorporating that into your presentation. Why don't you let us know, buddy, how does that work in your presentation?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys all know, Quilty is an awesome program. Pharmaceuticals out of this world right now with their prices. Quilty changed the game by focusing more on the ingredient rather than the barcode, and it's enabled people to get a better savings. So when I'm doing my presentation, the callback for the appointment, we go through everything and get to our role and purpose statement. And when you start reviewing their medical information, you're reading off their medications that they gave to you. And whether it's one person or two, at the end of that, that's where you step in and you go, Mr. and Miss Smith, I noticed that, you guys have a few medications you take. One of the companies that we partner with, Quilty, just released a new prescription savings card. It's completely free to you. And I think it'll help save you guys some money. Is that something you guys would like me to help sign you up for today? And get something to you in your email. And most generally, people are going to accept something that's free. And right away out of the gate, before you even went into anything else with that appointment, you're already offering them something with no incentive to yourself. You're already showing them that you're there to help that family. I just think it's a great way to, get things started on the right foot with your appointments. Whether they can use it or not, if they say they can't use it, that's fine. You know what? If you know somebody that can use it, feel free to share this link. There's ways to help people without them necessarily needing it.
Awesome, man. And one thing before we move on to Kari, a question for you, buddy. So you lost your full-time job. Your first 2 full-time months, you're a successful agent at Symmetry. What do you attribute the things that made you be successful right out of the gate like this? Like what's the secret sauce, buddy, for you?
Honestly, the secret there is you've got to care about the families you're helping. If you care about the families you're helping, then the rest of it's going to fall in line. A huge thing for me is just completely plugging into the Symmetry system. Reaching out to everybody. If you can get help and aren't afraid to get help and humble yourself, it's going to take you a long ways here. One other part is, like I said, I don't get content with my first goal I set during that month. If I set 5,000 and I hit 5,000, I'm going to up it to 7. If I hit 7, I'm going to go to 10, and it just keeps going. And you keep pushing yourself and giving you something to strive for.
Awesome stuff, buddy. And you're just getting started. You're definitely recruiting. You are producing. You're leading from the front. So great job, man, and great having you on the call. And Kari, Willen, Cody's upline. Holy cow! I'm so excited. We have team leader Kari Willen on here, and Kari, just to give you an idea, in December on personal production, Kari wrote 26 applications for 24,586, and her team in December did 58 applications for 52,250, issued over 40,000 as a team. In January, 22 apps for 18,006 personally. 53 applications for over 40,000 as a team. You lead from the front in so many different ways, man. And, you know, like our team had over $1 million in the base shop last year, and Kari was the #1 issued business out of everybody in the base shop. So I'm so happy to be, you know, your business partner. And I know something from you, man, is you know, you're all meat and potatoes, and I know that you got a lot of good nuggets to drop on the call today. So welcome to the call. Tell us who you are, and glad to have you, man.
Thank you so much, Dan. It is an honor to be asked to be on this call today. You know, to share some nuggets that hopefully, you know, new agents, seasoned agents, whatever, can use in their next appointment. But yeah, I am direct to Dan Miller in the Ben Miller, Ryan Miller, Rob Puckett, Marshall Willen hierarchy. Before Symmetry, I worked in Manhattan for about 10 years for menswear, you know, fashion store. You know, they were early on in their career, so I wore many hats. After 10 years, I wasn't passionate about that anymore. And we were in a transition, my family and I, from New York to Colorado, which is where I'm right now, Fort Collins. But in between that time frame, I was a stay-at-home mom, you know, living with my parents for about a year while we figured stuff out. Getting into Colorado, I needed to find a job. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to make, you know, a decent salary. You know, I liked the idea of being able to make 6 figures if that's what I wanted, and to, you know, have my own schedule. Symmetry has allowed me to, you know, now as a single mom, raising 2 kids, to be able to provide for me and my family on a single income. So I'm forever grateful for finding Symmetry. I've been here for a little over a year and a half now. Not only have I grown in my personal life, you know, I'm so much more of a positive person, self-developing myself every day, but also my team is growing. And Cody is a key player on my team, who's also very successful at writing multiple apps in the home. So we're going to kind of talk about, you know, adding accidental death policies on with your families, you know, that can only qualify for that critical period equity protection product. So our whole life products. So, you know, you guys are going to find that you're going to run into a lot of families who don't necessarily qualify for our term products, which is what we use for the full mortgage payout. Whether that be their age, you know, their health, or their budget, you know, they just don't qualify. So obviously we are going to focus on the critical period equity protection program, and put the emphasis on building value towards that product, because, you know, you already know going into the meeting, based off of the information that you collected over the phone, you know, before you set the appointment, that they're not going to qualify for the full mortgage payout. So I love accidental death policies. I protect a lot of families with accidental death policies. Mutual of Omaha has a great accidental death policy that is a guaranteed issue. The last issue age is 70. So basically anyone, you know, 70 and younger can qualify for this product. You know, it's an affordable way to cover the mortgage. God forbid something were to happen due to an accident. So, you know, I love comboing this. Dan, you personally, you know, you and your family know firsthand what an accidental death policy can do for your family. You know, your father had one in place, and it saved your mother, you know, and you guys. So yes, I just want to go over, you know, I'm going to role play with you, Dan, on kind of how I successfully present the accidental death policy with those critical period equity protection options. And I just want, you know, new agents on board, I just want you guys to, you know, pay attention to how much more time I spend building value on the critical period equity protection program versus that full mortgage payout. Yeah. So Dan, so two types of families, guys. For anyone that's new, I like to combo the accidental death policy with my options. For anyone that may be, maybe they're in their 40s or 50s and they either have, certain health conditions or prescription medication combos that don't qualify them for a term product. Another type of family that I like to use this combination with are maybe people that are super healthy and in their, maybe early mid 60s and have a really high mortgage, and that full mortgage payoff is just going to be way too expensive for them and just not make any sense. So I'm going to role play with Dan. Dan is going to have a wife, Kelly. They're healthy and in their, mid 60s, but they have a really high mortgage. So I already know I'm going to show them options in the critical period equity protection line that combos the accidental death policy for a full mortgage payout. All right. So, and obviously guys, get with your upline before any of this, but I just want to, kind of role play how I successfully, write multiple apps in the home using the accidental death policy to cover the whole mortgage. All right. So we're already through the fact finding. I've already got Dan and Kelly committed. This is what they want. They want something in place. So I'm now going to explain kind of how I talk about, both options, the full mortgage and the critical period. All right, so Dan, Kelly, so Dan, you're going to be 64, you're healthy. Kelly, Kelly's 63. You guys have a $200,000 mortgage. It's a 30-year, and your monthly mortgage payments are $1,500 a month. All right, that's going to be our example. All right, so Dan, Kelly, there's two ways to do the mortgage payout. There's that full mortgage payout, which does exactly what it says. Dan, if you pass, no matter how or when you pass over the term, Kelly, you're going to receive that full $200,000 up front. But I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. By doing it that way, your stage of life is going to be by far the most expensive. I mean, I'm sure you guys, don't want your monthly insurance premiums to be anywhere near your mortgage payments. Am I right?
Yeah, no way.
Right. So then there's the second kind of mortgage protection, which is called the critical period equity protection program. Now, guys, this is going to pay your family's largest expense, the mortgage, for a certain period of time when you pass, Dan. Whether that's 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, whatever you can afford. It's going to, first and foremost, Kelly, it's going to give you time to grieve properly, figure out your new normal. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to protect all this equity that you guys already have built up in your home. You guys had already mentioned earlier, you have $100,000 in equity in your home, which that in and of itself is like a life insurance policy. So Kelly, you're going to be able to protect that, that equity in your home, making that become your benefit. Also, guys, out in Colorado, homes go off the market like that. But just as easy as it is to, sell your home, it's just as hard to find another replacement home, to find another home to move into. So this is going to, really give you time to grieve and not have to worry about going through, your home, getting it up on the market, finding a new home if that's what you decide you want to do. So guys, most people, in your situation will go with that critical period equity protection program because it's so much more affordable. Based on both of those options, what do you think would best fit your family's needs?
That second one, the cheaper one.
That critical period.
The protection one, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, as an advisor, I would absolutely recommend going that route as well. So guys, do you have a pen and paper handy? I just have a few quotes, for you guys.
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right, awesome. All right, so Dan and Kelly, Dan, if something were to happen to you and you pass, no matter how you pass, when you pass, Kelly, you're going to get 6 months of mortgage payments in bulk upfront. And Dan, if you pass due to an accident of any kind, you get into a car accident, you slip and hit your head, fall down the stairs, that sort of thing, Kelly, you're still going to receive that 6 months of mortgage payments up front, plus that full mortgage payout. So the $200,000. And that program is going to be $82.63 a month. 9 months of mortgage payments up front. So again, Dan, no matter how you pass, when you pass, Kelly, you're guaranteed to receive that 9 months of mortgage payments up front. And if you pass due to an accident of any kind, you're going to get that additional $200,000 to cover the whole mortgage. And that's going to be $101.06 a month. And then a year worth of mortgage payments up front. And if you pass due to an accident, Kelly, you're going to get that full mortgage payout plus that 12 months of mortgage payments. And that's going to be $120.79 a month. Okay, and then I'm just going to give them a few seconds to kind of just sit. And then if they have any questions, I answer them. And then I say, as far as helping you guys apply with the insurance carrier to see if we can get you approved, is it better that I help you apply for that 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months of critical period equity protection program?
We'll go with the 9 months.
9 months. All right. All right. And then this is where I pull up the application. And then this is when I say, guys, that it's going to be 2 separate applications. So after they've committed, right, we're going to apply for that 9 months, that I comboed that accidental death policy with. I'm going to say, okay, guys, we're going to start off with the accidental policy for that full mortgage payout first. This is a faster e-application. We'll start with this one first. And then I go on doing the application. So guys, notice how I didn't present the critical period options plus the accidental. I combined that dollar amount with both applications. So before any appointment that I know I'm going to be comboing this with, I price out the critical period options, and then I'll go quote out the accidental death policy for that full mortgage. And then I'll add those 2 numbers together to present my numbers to my families.
So it's so important, and you're right. Kari does not, she's not even talking about the accidental. Like, let's keep the main thing. The main thing is we're going to protect the family with critical period equity protection. So she's not even talking about the accidental at all until the client has grabbed the pen, right, and are about to do the options. And a old saying that a confused mind won't buy. Like Kari's, if Kari put pricing with the accidental, without the accidental, that she's gonna get, I want to think about it at the end. So she incorporates both numbers into one thing. So we're only showing a total of 3 options. So awesome stuff. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So how I mentioned, how you guys went right for that critical period, right? After I gave you the two options of how we do the critical, of how we do, the mortgage payments. So like I mentioned earlier, another type of family that I like to use this combination with are people that can't qualify, not based off of age, not based off a budget, but due to health conditions, or like I said, prescription medications. So I'm presenting the exact same way, except instead of saying, after I talk about the full mortgage payout option, then after that, I'll say, based on, people in your situation, based on your health conditions and prescription medications, we'll go with that critical period equity protection program because it's a lot easier to get approved for. So if I go through presenting both options, that full mortgage payout and the critical period equity protection program, and I say, based on both of those, what do you think best fits your family's needs? and the family says, oh, well, the full mortgage payout, you know what I mean? Then that's when I say, guys, I've got great news. We can still cover the whole mortgage, and this is how we're going to do it. And then I present my 3 options the exact same way that I presented the 3 options when we were role playing.
It's so important what you just did right there. It's all about how you paint the picture, right? Kari could have went and said, Dan, based on your not so great health, like you can only qualify for this, and you know how far that's going to get her. Like, not at all. What Kari did is she started off with, hey, I got great news. We're going to cover the home mortgage, and this is how we're going to do it. Because on a younger family, they're thinking mortgage payout, and all Kari's doing is giving them exactly what they want and what they qualify for, and painting it in a positive light. And I know we got a couple of minutes left, and Cody, like the speed of the leader, the speed of the pack, like Cody, you help multiple families, like every single week. You do this combo, the critical period with the new accidental. So you got anything to add on what Kari's saying?
Yeah, and Kari, you absolutely nailed it on there. That's what I learned from. So with that, the way I present that one is, once they've decided on that critical period equity protection, then I go, okay, well, I did this in 3 different options for you in 12 months, 18 months, and 24 months. And I'll explain out. The way I bring in my accidental is, all right, and for the 12 months of mortgage payments for you, Dan, in the event that Kari should pass away, I've paired that with an accidental policy that would cover the full mortgage. And that total is going to be $65.23 a month. And that accidental policy, in the event you should get in a car wreck, trip down the stairs, slip on ice, whatever the accident is that, winds up being fatal, it will cover that full mortgage then, on top of making sure these monthly payments are paid out to, either you, Dan, or Kari. And I break right down the line. So it's very similar to what, how Kari approaches it. I just have my own way about it. And honestly, it just flows, and it's still staying on task.
Yeah, and you guys, we're protecting the family in the best way that's possible, because nobody knows how they're gonna die. Kari did put it that way, like my dad did die of an accident. It's the only kind of policy that he had. And the critical period is a great thing for older people, or people that are maybe not in the greatest health in the world. And we're in the beginning of the month here. There is almost there's 3 full weeks left in this month, and that's an eternity. And we can all have the same number of hours in the day, right? And what I urge everybody to do today is, just start with the things that you're grateful for, and if that's, hey, I wanted to do a little more reading on personal growth and development, and you did it. Well, there's something to be grateful for. It's a W, right? A win. Or maybe you're a little uncomfortable calling your mentor, and you make that call today, and you bridge that gap. Well, that's a win. When we go to dial and we successfully do a win, let's start just picking out all of the good things. And what's going to happen is our mind's going to get trained where we're always looking for the positive. I've been with Symmetry since April of 2016. I'm coming on 6 years. And one of the things I can tell you for sure about the owners, Brandon, Brian, and Casey, is that these guys are always right. In 2016, they said, hey, we're going to do 55 million, and we did it. 2020, they're like, guys, we're going to do 100 million. We did it. Last year they said we're going to do 200 million. We did 205 million. These guys are saying that we're going from 400 million to a $1 billion company within the 3 to 5 year period of time. And based on everything that I've experienced in my time here, they're absolutely right. And it all starts with us and our attitude and what we bring forth to the table. So guys, thank you very much for attending the national sales training call. You guys are in the right company at the right place at the right time. So let's just get after it, guys. Thank you. Bye.